Before there were Moors in Spain, before the great mosques rose in Córdoba, before Castile and Aragon and the kings we think of as Spanish ever existed, this land belonged to a Germanic warrior people who had helped bring down the Roman Empire itself. They were the Visigoths, and for 3 centuries they ruled Hispania from a throne in Toledo, a lost kingdom of Gothic kings whose names have been hiding in plain sight ever since, buried inside some of the most common surnames in the entire Spanish-speaking world. If your name is one of the 12 I'm about to show you, that Gothic blood may be your inheritance. 12 surnames, 12 bloodlines, and recent DNA breakthroughs have begun to peel back the Roman and the Moorish and the Castilian layers of Spain to reveal something older beneath, the Germanic North, the Goths, tracing these names back toward the kings who ruled from Toledo before the world we know was born. Stay until the final surnames, because several of them carry the name of an actual Visigothic king, including the very last one, the man who lost all of Spain in a single catastrophic day. Your name outlived an entire vanished kingdom. The question is, which Gothic warrior first bore it? Let's begin with a name that means, in the old Germanic tongue, the guardian of all. We start with one of the most Gothic names in all of Spain, Alvarez. It means son of Alvaro, and the name Alvaro is pure Germanic, carried into Spain by the Visigoths, built from old northern roots that are usually read as all and guard, giving the meaning the guardian of all, the defender of everything, allward. This was a warrior's name, the name of a man set to protect his people, and it survived the fall of the Gothic kingdom to become one of the great names of medieval Spain. It was borne by Alvar Fañez, a real captain and kinsman-in-arms of El Cid himself, immortalized in the great medieval Song of My Cid. To carry the name Alvarez is to descend from a man the Goths named the protector of all. If your name is Alvarez, you carry a Visigothic guardian's name, and the next name means counsel and fame, the wisdom of a king. The second name is Ramirez. It means son of Ramiro, and Ramiro comes from the Germanic name Ragenmar, or Radomir, built from roots meaning counsel, or wise judgment, joined with fame, or renown, the famous counselor, the one renowned for his wisdom in the council of war. It was a name worn by kings, by several kings of the early Christian kingdoms, that rose in the north after the Gothic fall, kings named Ramiro, who fought the long war against the Moors, and through them, the name reaches back into the Gothic world, from which those kingdoms drew their royal legitimacy. To bear this name is to be named for the wisdom and the fame of a Germanic lord. If your name is Ramirez, you carry the name of the famous counselor, and the third name is soaked in battle. The third name is Gonzales. It means son of Gonzalo, and Gonzalo comes from the Germanic name Gundisalvus, whose first element, Gund, means quite simply war or battle. To be named Gonzalo was to be named for war itself, and no name stands closer to the birth of Castile, for it was Count Fernán González who in the 10th century first won Castile its independence, the founding father of the Castilian nation, a man whose deeds passed into legend and epic. But the root of the name is older than Castile, older than the Reconquista, reaching back to the Gothic warriors who carried that word for battle in their very names. If your name is Gonzales, you carry a name rooted in the Germanic word for war, and the fourth name belonged to an actual Visigothic king. Before I go on, here is something almost no one watching realizes about their own name. If you've ever looked at your surname and wondered whether the blood of the Gothic kings runs somewhere in your line, I've put the whole story together in a guide called Where Do You Really Come From? The link is in the description below. But stay right here, because what comes next is the part most people completely miss. The names ahead include the name of the very last king of Gothic Spain, a name that means noble lord, and a name carried by the kings who first raised the banner of the Reconquista. The fourth name is Bermudez. It means son of Bermudo, and Bermudo is a genuinely royal Gothic name, from the older Germanic form Veramundus, or Bermund. It was borne by kings, by more than one King Bermudo of Leon, in the centuries after the Gothic collapse. monarchs who ruled the Christian north and traced their own legitimacy straight back to the vanished Visigothic throne. The name is a fossil of the Gothic aristocracy, a name that moved from the war bands of the Goths into the royal houses of medieval Spain. To carry it is to carry a name that sat upon a crowned head. If your name is Bermudez, you carry the name of the kings of Leon, and the fifth name means a brave and adventurous journey. The fifth name is Fernandez, and its close twin Hernandez. It means son of Fernando, or Hernando, and the name Fernando comes from the Germanic Frithland, or Ferdinand, built from roots often read as peace, or bold, joined with brave, or ready, giving the sense of the bold and ready adventurer, the brave journey. It was one of the most powerful royal names in all of Spanish history, worn by Ferdinand III, the sainted king who broke the Moorish south, and by Ferdinand of Aragon, who with Isabella completed the Reconquista. But beneath all that Castilian glory lies the Gothic root, the Germanic warrior name the Visigoths carried into Spain. If your name is Fernandez or Hernandez, you carry a Gothic name of bold journeys, worn by the kings who made Spain. And the sixth name means, at its root, simply man, the Gothic word for a warrior. The sixth name is Gomez. It means son of Gome, or Gomo, and the name is Gothic to its core, for the Visigoths used a word like guma, or goma, meaning man, in the old, proud sense of a man of the warband, a fighting man, the same ancient root that gives the second half of the English word bridegroom. Gomez, then, carries the plainest and oldest of Germanic warrior meanings, the man, the male, the fighter. It became one of the most widespread surnames in the entire Spanish world, its Gothic origin long forgotten by the millions who carry it. If your name is Gomez, you carry the Gothic word for a man of the warband. And the seventh name belonged to the Gothic nobility, the lords and stewards of the kingdom. The seventh name is Gutierrez. It means son of Gutierre, and Gutierre is a Germanic name of the Gothic aristocracy, related to the northern names that gave us Walter and Gunther, built from roots tied to the army, the ruler, and the wielding of power. This was a name of the Gothic warrior nobility, the men who ruled beneath the king, and it descended through the medieval Spanish aristocracy as a mark of old and noble blood. To bear it is to be named among the lords of the Gothic host. If your name is Gutierrez, you carry the name of the Gothic nobility, and the eighth name may hide the very name of the Goths themselves. The eighth name is Guzman. It comes from the town of Guzman in Burgos, in the old Castilian heartland, but the deeper root of that town's name is thought to reach back to a Visigothic personal name, built from Germanic elements that some read as Gaet, or Goth, joined with man, giving a meaning that may be, quite literally, the man of the Goths, the Gothic man. The Guzmans became one of the greatest noble houses of Spain, rising to become dukes of Medina Sidonia, and one of them, Guzman the Good, earned undying fame for his grim honor when, besieged and told his captured son would be killed unless he surrendered his fortress, he is said to have thrown down his own dagger from the walls rather than break his oath. If your name is Guzman, you may carry a name that means the man of the Goths themselves, and the ninth name means the renowned and mighty ruler, the name of the last king of all. The ninth name is Rodriguez, and here we reach the heart of the whole story, for Rodriguez means son of Rodrigo, and Rodrigo comes from the Germanic Roderick, built from roots meaning fame, or renown, joined with power or rule, giving the meaning the famous ruler, the one renowned in power. And Rodrigo was the name of the very last Visigothic king of Spain. King Roderick, Don Rodrigo, took the throne in the early 8th century, and in the year 711 he led the Gothic army against a Moorish force that had crossed from Africa, and at the Battle of Guadalete he was utterly destroyed. Roderick vanished from the field, his kingdom shattered, and within a few years almost all of Spain had fallen to the Moors. It was the death of Gothic Spain, and King Rodrigo became a figure of endless legend and lament. His name, carried in mourning and defiance, became one of the most common surnames on earth. If your name is Rodriguez, you carry the name of the last king of the Visigoths, and the 10th name belonged to the kings who began the long road back. The 10th name is Suarez. It means son of Suero, and the name Suero descends from a Germanic root, tied to the old northern names built on the element that means army, or host, the same root behind names like Sigward and the northern swine. It was a name of the Gothic and post-Gothic warrior nobility of the Northwest, of Leon and Asturias, that mountainous corner of Spain where a handful of Gothic nobles had fled after the Great Defeat, and from which, under their leader Pelayo, the Reconquista itself was born at the legendary Battle of Covadonga. To bear this name is to be named for the army, the host, in the old Germanic way. If your name is Suarez, you carry a Gothic warrior name from the cradle of the Reconquista, and the 11th name means the noble and famous ruler. The 11th name is Rodrigo, born directly as a surname, and its kin such as Ruiz, which comes from Rui, a short form of that same royal Gothic name. To carry Rodrigo or Ruiz, undivided, is to carry the king's name itself, unmediated, the name of Don Rodrigo, the famous ruler, the last of the Gothic monarchs. And it was the given name of the greatest hero medieval Spain ever produced, Rodrigo Diaz de Vivar, the man the Moors themselves called Al-Said, the Lord, the name that came down to history as El Cid. His name, Rodrigo, was the old Gothic royal name, worn by the champion of Christian Spain. If your name is Rodrigo or Ruiz, you carry the undivided name of the Gothic kings. And now the 12th and final name, a name that reaches back to the Gothic word for a lord. The 12th name is Froilan, and the surnames that spring from it, such as Fros and Freila in its older senses. The name Froila, or Froilan, is Gothic, and it is thought to descend from a Germanic root meaning lord or master, the same ancient root, Frauja, that the Goths used for their lords, and that appears in their oldest surviving texts as the word for the Lord himself. It was a royal name, worn by kings Fruela of Asturias and Leon in the fierce early centuries of the Reconquista, warrior kings who fought the Moors from their mountain strongholds. To bear a name descended from Froila is to be named, in the tongue of the Goths, a lord. If your name springs from Froila, you carry the Gothic word for a lord, and that is the thread that runs through every name on this list. 12 surnames, 12 bloodlines, 12 Gothic words hiding inside Spanish names, reaching back past the Moors, past the Reconquista, past everything we think of as Spain, to a Germanic warrior kingdom that ruled from Toledo and then vanished into legend on a single terrible day at Guadalete. And here is what the DNA breakthroughs really revealed. Your name was never just a label. It is a lost kingdom. It is a Gothic warband that crossed a continent, helped shatter Rome, and seized a peninsula. It is the guardian, the counselor, the man of the warband, the noble lord, and the famous king, hidden inside names so common that the millions who carry them have long forgotten what they mean. The Goths were conquered, absorbed, half erased, and yet their names outlived them by 1,300 years, carried down through every empire that rose on Spanish soil and across an ocean to a new world. Some of these names mean war, or the guardian, or the lord, and one of them is the name of the last king who ever wore the Gothic crown. But every single one of them survived. So tell me, drop your surname in the comments and tell me which Gothic word you think your bloodline reaches back to. And if you carry a story of where your family truly came from, say it, because those stories deserve to be heard. If you made it to the end, subscribe. Every week we go deeper into the names people carry without ever knowing what they truly mean.